Well, here we are at the human village. Hey, Raisin. Maybe you could ask for me. I'm sure Erin would be willing to show her notes to her favorite pet, right? I obviously don't know Master Erin too well. I'm sure it'll all work out. What do you say? You want to lend me a hand? I don't really think she'll have anything to say to you. I suppose if I wanted any help from them, I have to figure out another way to get to it. I took out a copy of my current work in progress, a potion that theoretically worked, but was the size of a house, and required you to chug it all in one go. Naturally, the human digestive system doesn't hold that much liquid at once, so it was a failure. Here, can you at least show her this? Maybe she can at least give me some pointers. Okay, fine. If you really want, I'll give it to her. She'll probably just tear it apart and send it back to you covered in comments on how backwards Earthlings are. Actually, that was exactly what I was hoping for. If she could just tell me what I was doing wrong. Well, thanks. I'll take whatever help I can get. Suit yourself. I'll be here next Monday to sell medicine, so you can come get your mess of red pen then. Now, if you excuse me, I'll have a crate to deliver to Corno and medicine to sell. And with that, she left. I suppose if I wanted help from ENT, I have to visit next week. So what is it? Today's the 10th of March 10th, at least of this game. So I got like 7 days left, so okay, I gotta wait till 17th if I'm correct. After that, I decided to do some shopping while I was in town. I had to restock on a couple of things anyway, primarily food. I must have taken less time than usual, since there were still plenty of hours before sundown. I didn't really want to just sit around at home, so I decided I'd go somewhere else first. Perhaps I'd visit the Scarlet Devil Mansion again today. Mei-Ling didn't even bother to question me this time. Maybe I had been cleared by Patchouli, or maybe she had just realized I wasn't coming as an intruder this time. As I headed towards Voli, I realized that it was starting to become more natural for me. Instead of pretending to belong to the full fairy mates, I actually felt like I belonged. It wasn't an act, I was actually allowed to be there. Maybe I could get used to being a guest. It'd make boring things much easier. As I went into the Vola, I plucked a book from the shelf and stuffed it into my pack. I'll pretend I didn't see anything if it's back in the spot when you leave. I could swear I heard an exclamation mark floating above me. Since when could Patchouli sneak up on me? Since she became fucking Snake! Oh, hello Patchouli. I was just going to check out this book, that's all. I'm here to do research, right? I suppose that's what I get for letting mice run around in my library. Stolen books. Do mice usually steal books? I suppose I can nibble on them occasionally. You should put traps out to handle that sort of things. How to cook book eating rats. About this time, Koakuma appeared from behind a bookshelf, her arms full of books. Oh, Marissa, I found a few more books on immortality for you. I took the liberty of skimming a few for you in my free time. While Patchouli glared at me, Koakuma continued on handing me a book, completely oblivious. This one is actually quite good. It's particularly detailed on exactly how yokai liver functions and how they prevent the aging process as a result. And this was about when Patchouli's glare reached critical mass. So, are you going to be stealing those as well? Black or white rat? Come on, Patchouli. I promised Koakuma I want to steal those books. I want to steal books not related to immortality now. Anything else would be wrong. I have no idea where your moral compass went wrong, but I'm certain that knowing your definition of morality would cause saints and philosophers to weep. I'm going with Patchouli on this one. Her idea of morality and shit when it comes to books, like, why did I agree to this foolishness again? Because I'm a once-in-a-century research opportunity, and because it's a still perfect protection for a good chunk of your library. I mean, that's a whole lot of book I'm not going to steal. A fair point. Maybe if I keep getting you engaged in lengthy research projects. Anyway, how much research do you have on your immortality potion? I imagine you can't have just started work on it. Maybe we should let Marissa put her bags down first. Koakuma gestured towards my bags full of groceries and went to take them. If you would like, I could even go ask Saki if she would like to cook some of these for us. And as Koakuma took the bags from me, I noticed the notes that I hadn't handed Raisin fall out of the bags. What's this? Patchouli picked up my notes before I could get to them. The little devil stopped and turned around to look at the notes with her master. Are these your immortality notes? Yes. They seemed somewhat incomplete. Well, I haven't finished the research and I gave the last few pages to Raisin so she can get some commentary from Erin. Patchouli just stared at me for a second, as did Koakuma. You did what? Oh? That Erin? I wasn't aware that was another one. The one who created the Horai Elixir? Yeah? How could you do something like that? These notes, they are an embarrassment to the magical community. And they're full of spelling errors. Okay, to be fair, I'm a terrible speller, so I'm not gonna talk shit. Plus, they're in a really weird format. Who taught you to take these notes? Ugh, it somehow hurt to be getting chewed out by Koakuma. How could you possibly show something like that to Aaron of all people? Hey, it's all I had. That's almost even worse. What have you been doing? Miss Patchouli, I think we should give Marissa a writing workshop. Well, what? Indeed, Marissa, sit. Was that a dog now? Although having the two of them glare at me was very intimidating somehow. Koakuma has sit me down at one of Patchouli's writing desk after clearing it of all the random notes and stationery that Patchouli kept on it. I could see some of Patchouli's notes on the structure of fairies' wings took up most of the space before it was cleared. I assume it was her work or her book on illusionary taxonomy? I think that's how you say it. That was when things got strange. Miss Patchouli. Yes. What's this? My notes on fairy wing structure. Why? These are just as bad as Marissa's. I thought you would have learned better by now. Blasted! But these are the same as they always are. That's the problem. Both of you sit down. Oh shit. Koakuma's just not gonna give up, man. Cute. How did it come to this? First of all, Marissa, your spelling and grammar are terrible. I know they are just notes, but that doesn't excuse you to spell things willy-nilly. What is this? Apparently? Definitely? Relevant? Excuse me. Whatever, it's not that huge a deal. It is a huge deal. Spelling is important. Poor spelling makes you look uneducated. It was like Koakuma was suddenly a different person. I heard Patchouli snicker from her desk. Apparently, Koakuma heard it because she turned out to her next. Miss Patchouli, you're not much better. Well, what are you talking about? My spelling is fine. It might have been fine before Daniel Webster, but it's completely unacceptable to spell something 8 different ways in the same document. You spelled fairy 5 different ways just on this page. How do you spell fairy 5 different ways? That's... I think, I gotta admit, that's more impressive than anything else. But it shows creative. There you go, creativity. Yo guys, when you guys writing an essay or whatever and you're spelling fairies 5 different ways, just tell your professor, yo, this is creativity. Get this through your head. Tell that to your professor, man. See how that turns out. It also makes it harder to read, especially in a book about taxonomy. And it gets even worse when you write in Japanese. Pick a single kanji to write one. Don't change arrow. Well, okay, that part I really get. So those who understand Japanese, I'm sure you can bitch that Patchouli for what she's doing wrong. As for me, I know shit. Hopefully she'll calm down soon. Oh hell no, you broke all loose. Koakuma inherited the spirit of Yarormyr. And now like I said, man, hell's broken loose. Now take a look at these. Koakuma produced 2 sets of notes. Both appeared similar, but upon further inspection, one was very quickly scrawled into a sheet of paper, while the other had very neat, orderly handwriting. These are my notes on the Philosopher's Stones. Yes, you'll notice there are 2 versions, one that you wrote and one that I cleaned up for you. I can't even read this one. Those are Miss Patchouli's notes. Patchouli looked somewhat offended but said nothing. I looked at the other set of notes as Koakuma went on about proper note-taking skills and penmanship and such. I had to give it to her. The copied note were definitely easier to read and they were actually interesting to boot. I'd always had a hard time connecting Patchouli's Philosopher's Stone to the myths. I mainly saw it as being used as a bombardment spell, but it was capable of far, far more. The Philosopher's Stone is a specialized alchemist tool used to bolster magical power and assist in distillation and transmutation. Wait, distillation? Perhaps if I distilled the formula, it wouldn't be the size of a house anymore. Of course, I'd have to make sure my formula works in the first place, and for that I need either another monster test or my notes back from Raisin. Oh well, something to keep in mind. Marissa. Yeah, sure. Quick, say something. Yeah, sure. You weren't listening to a word I said, were you? No, sorry. At least she was honest there. You're the one who started this too. You escalated. She's your familiar. You should have known to avoid the subject. Well, your notes are terrible. Damn. Shots fired. Focus! I'm going to teach you two to write properly if it kills me. And the lecture continued. Eventually, Koakuma decided she'd gotten over enough today and we turned to my notes. Patchouli pointed out a really stupid mistake in my equation, so I spent the rest of the time figuring out how to fix it. I noticed Patchouli seemed more sociable than normal today. Maybe the shock of having Koakuma criticize her broke through her facade. Well, that was a question to be answered another time. For now, it was getting towards evening and there were only so many meals I could crash before Saki was starting to start getting annoyed. I said my goodbyes and head home.